Assalamu alaikum and good day to all you curious people out there. Let's continue our journey to explore the impact of the Columbian exchange in this, the part 4, the animal invasion. Imagine the Americas before 1492. The forests, plains, and mountains were alive with countless species, but something was missing. There were no horses galloping across the plains, no cows grazing in the fields, no bleating sheep, rooting pigs, or even clucking chickens. In fact, the list of domesticated animals in the pre-Columbian Americas was surprisingly short. Llamas and alpacas, guinea pigs, turkeys, and dogs. That was about it. There were no beasts of burden to pull carts, no livestock to provide milk and meat, and no animals to plow fields. Life was shaped around a different balance between plants and animals. The silence changed suddenly with the arrival of Europeans. Along with wheat and sugarcane, they brought living cargo: horses, cattle, pigs, sheep, goats, and chickens. And the impact of these animals was as revolutionary as the crops that crossed the Atlantic. The most dramatic of all was the horse. Horses had once roamed the Americas, but they went extinct thousands of years earlier. When Europeans reintroduced them, native peoples quickly recognized their power. Within just a few generations, the horses transformed entire cultures. On the Great Plains, tribes who once hunted bison on foot became mounted warriors and expert riders. The horse gave them new mobility, new speed in hunting, and new power in warfare. A way of life was reborn, centered around this animal that had been missing for millennia. But horses were only part of the story. Cattle spread rapidly across the New World, grazing on grasslands and multiplying in vast numbers. They provided milk, meat, and leather, but also reshaped landscapes. Forest and farmland gave way to open grazing grounds, and native ecosystems were forever altered. In places like Mexico and South America, cattle ranching soon became a cornerstone of the economy. Sheep. Sheep added another layer of transformation. Their wool was woven into textiles, but the sheer scale of their grazing often devastated the land. Hillsides eroded, and fragile soils collapsed under the pressure of these new herds. And then there were the pigs, arguably the most disruptive animal of all. Pigs reproduced at astonishing speed, ate almost anything, and adapted to nearly every environment. When Hernando de Soto marched through what is now the southeastern United States, he brought pigs with him as a walking food supply. Some escaped, others were left behind, and soon wild hogs were everywhere, rooting up native plants, raiding crops, and spreading rapidly through the forest. To this day, the descendants of those pigs still roam across North America. Chickens were another newcomer. Unknown in the Americas before Columbus, they came from Asia via Europe and were introduced on Columbus's second voyage. Unlike cattle or pigs, chickens were small, easy to raise, and multiplied quickly. For indigenous communities and settlers alike, they soon became a steady source of both eggs and meat, slipping quietly into daily diets in ways more dramatic animals could not. Together, these animals caused what some historians call an ecological invasion. They reshaped soils, trampled native plants, and competed with local wildlife. They disruptive they disrupted the existing farming systems and introduced new cycles of abundance and scarcity. For native peoples, these animals were both a challenge and an opportunity. Some communities resisted their spread, while others integrated them into new ways of life. Horses gave power, cattle created wealth, pigs brought destruction. Chicken and sheep changed diets and landscapes. This animal invasion was as powerful as any army. It didn't just alter diets, it redefined economies, environments, and cultures across the Americas. But the story of the Columbian exchange doesn't stop there, because alongside animals came another force that would transform the New World even more brutally: sugar. One sweet craving fueled one of history's darkest traits. Sugar plantations in the New World demanded endless labor, and millions of enslaved Africans paid the price. This is the story of our next episode, the part 5: The Sugar Revolution and the Slave Trade. Thank you all. Stay curious and Allah Hafiz.